Hi, everyone. Welcome to Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel, and here we share stories from women around the world to inspire a change and a transformation in the lives of young women and young girls to dream with unlimited possibilities. Today, we have the ultimate pleasure of speaking with Miss Sania Jalal. And Sania is a life coach, and she has a very interesting philosophy that she uses in her work. And I would love for her to come and share that with us. So, hi, how are you doing today, Sania?
Hi Maya, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you're all the way in Melbourne right now, and it's really early for you, so I really appreciate you being here with us to share your story.
Thank you.
So go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your philosophy that you use in your life coaching practices.
Sure. So my background is in science actually. I've done that for more than a decade, science, chemistry, and while I was doing that, I was also interested in philosophy and I guess I looked up to people like Nelson Mandela and such, and was inspired by those people. So I did a bit of reading on autobiographies. So just through my life experience, I wanted to learn more about emotional wisdom and also how to basically become successful in different areas of my life. And that success, I guess it means different to different people, but for me it was just about the feeling of fulfillment and just being content with myself. So I came across this work of Carl Jung's. To me it made a lot of sense. It wasn't about positive thinking, it wasn't about so by positive thinking as in think positive all the time and forget about ignore the negatives. It wasn't about that, or it wasn't about healing that we're broken, we're damaged. It was about basically making the unconscious conscious. So as I was doing that, I started seeing other paths to my career, and coaching became sort of a passion of mine, and I continued to pursue that. So my coaching is basically helping clients to understand the nature of their mind at a deeper level through the works of Carl Jung, Eastern philosophy, and neuropsychology. And by doing that, people are able to achieve more, push beyond their limits, and those limits are only actually in our mind. So once we actually step into our true selves, we can do so much more. The world is unlimited for us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Definitely. So, how would you say your career with your education in Masters of Science and Neuroscience, how would you say that has helped shape your, let's say, image of the Jungian life coaching theories and things like that?
I guess it's all fallen, it's been like a stepping stone, one thing leading to the other. I've always wanted to help people or make a difference in the world, and science was always something um, fascinating for me. Like, I was a very curious person. I wanted to learn more how things worked. Um, so while initially I wanted to become a doctor, I didn't want to work in hospitals. At that age, I went to do some work experience, and the environment was not a happy environment for me. So I ignored that calling of helping people. And then I ended up in science with my fascination about the universe and chemistry and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually doing some work where I helped drug testing and things. So still helping the environment, our communities. What I'm currently doing also is basically working to help our environment in terms of making sure that there's no, uh, basically sustainability and things in my other job. And as a coach, I guess that all of those elements have come together for me to be able to use my science background, research and general knowledge, as well as to help people, which I love doing, and it's always been my thing, through the application of Carl Jung's work. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So I just had a question that I wanted to ask you. Okay, so if you had to say that there were any obstacles that were in your pathway on finding your true calling or your passion for life coaching or science, what would they be, and how were you able to overcome them?
I would say it's all in the mind, really. First thing would be to actually follow what you truly love, regardless of circumstances. Sometimes it could be that there's, financial situations. We might go, oh, we're limited because of financially, or we're limited because of our qualification. But really, it's all in our mind. When I was doing a career change from science to slightly different, to be able to work in the office in a job that was more consultancy, I did not have that background. And at that time that I was actually being coached on this kind of work, my coach told me, just believe that you can have that kind of job and take action. And I was saying, I don't want to spend so much money. I've already got my master's in science. I don't want to spend more to do something, and I might not even like it. But it was just by always that desire, that deepest desire, that I wanted to become a consultant. I wanted to work more with people than just being in the lab and doing research. And by taking action, as in I actually applied in another master's degree to become an environmental consultant. I came across this job that I was able to use my experiences rather than actually doing another qualification course to basically get this job. So that's how the mindset works. It's really about, okay, how much can I work internally? And then by taking action, you're receiving it. So first you create it in your mind, and then you receive it by taking action.
No, definitely. So was your coach, were they practicing the same philosophies that you are?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
So I'm basically certified Jungian coach, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you say, because I know a lot of times we become aware of different pathways that we can take in life and different ways that we can be creative with our career paths and our professional development. How would you say your life coach influenced you to do the same thing and help others?
I guess initially when she was my coach, I didn't even think of becoming a coach. But just her guidance, and as coaches, you just, more than anything, it was her passion and her care that inspired me, and for me to trust her to go, all right, I'll do this, and also it really comes to the individual person. If you really, really want to do something, it's your responsibility. And so, because I was so, I wanted to change my careers at that point, had this deepest desire, I really, really want to work with people. So it really, I guess, there's a sort of a divine calling as well that leads you to one thing to the other, as long as you're open to learning, as long as you're open to experiencing different things in life, trying it without being afraid, and without worrying that this could be it or not. You just do it. Yeah.
So I know that you're a person that is very open-minded, as it seems. You are very open to taking on new challenges and learning about new and different philosophies. What would you say to someone who is experiencing a difficulty in change or being open to change?
I still have my own battles. I still have my areas of uncertainty and fears, and I guess areas where I'm not comfortable. It's I would recommend taking small steps, and it doesn't have to be big leap, and something that might be a small step for one person, it might be a big jump for another person. So rather than comparing ourselves to others, it's really looking within and going, what is it that I can do? Because life, even though we're all connected together, we all have individual parts, and if our focus should really be on our own part. Yeah, so
Right.
just take one step at a time. And obviously you don't want to throw yourself in dangerous spots. You want to be cautious, but you also don't want to be too cautious where, you're living a too safe and too limited life.
Right. Definitely don't want to do that because that's no fun. Okay, so how would you say that in your ongoing battle to fight uncertainties and fight going against the grain, how would you say that you're coping with that or you're continuing to um, get rid of those fears that you're having?
So the thing is, as we get closer to our goals and dreams, there we end up having this internal conflict within us, basically, because what we're used to in like our conditioned life and our conditioned settings in the past shifts. So there's a term Carl Jung uses called ego, which is our the persona we put out in life just for survival, and that freaks out when we make changes, when we move into uncertain areas. And the idea is to recognize it and to
Mhm.
take it slowly and go, okay, I understand that this is my ego. I understand that I'm having these experiences, these emotions, because there's a change coming. So you just got to sit with your emotions, invite them rather than ignoring them, whether they're good or bad. You just got to take time for yourself and do some self-reflection and recognize where you are, where your emotions are, and
Mhm.
then make those changes. Yeah. And if you have family, friends that are supportive, that's great, because to me, that's been the biggest thing in my life. Having people, true relationships that have been, they're supportive, and even as a coach, because it's hard to know your own mind. You still stumble at times, but to have that kind of support and to be able to make that time for yourself, or people around you allow you to have that time for yourself to self-reflect, really helps.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So, what would you say? I know that you've been on both sides of the fence now, where you've received coaching with the philosophy that you're using, and you've been able to give coaching with the philosophy that you're using. So, what is the most interesting thing that you've seen this philosophy help someone with? Even yourself, what is like the most interesting thing that you did not expect to happen?
um, the It's just fascinating in that sense. You get to the point where you experience these emotions, this joy and this freedom. It's almost like the feeling of ecstasy, even though haven't had those kind of drugs or anything. But it's just this amazing, yeah, it's just this amazing feeling that you don't need anything external to make you that kind of content and happy. It's all within you. And when you get to that, it's almost like you can see the world from a different view, like from your wisdom mind. That's such a freeing experience. Yeah.
So, if you had to go back into your life, professionally or personally, is there anything that you would change that would set you in a point of, let's say, a mind shift change where you don't have to necessarily go through some things that could have gotten you to the position that you're in now?
I could say it in two different ways. I could say yes in some ways, but then at the same time, from I guess from a wisdom mind, if I see it in that way, I would say everything has showed up in my life as opportunities, even if I have stumbled, it was because I needed that experience to grow. So things come up in our lives for a reason. We don't always get the dream job, or we don't always know when we're born that this is what we got to do. But that's the adventure of life. It's about, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And if I didn't have those ups and downs, I wouldn't enjoy being, basically. It's what makes us who we are. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So if you had to, let's say, tell a woman of any age, let's say young, middle age, old, how would you help her to find her passion in this life? Because I know sometimes we get to even older ages and we're still trying to find our passion. So a woman of any age, how would you speak to her in a sense and help her to find her passion?
I would say they need to take some time to do some self-reflection, to see, even when they were young, as a child, what was it that they liked, and to just make this note as if like there's no buts, or there's no limitations. Just be playful, write down anything that you like, that you really, really want to do without these concerns and without these restrictions, and then try it. Start exploring the world one by one. If you try something, it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, because you still learn something from it. And then try something else, and those things will actually be like a stepping stone leading to something much bigger. Yeah. And you just gotta trust that everything will always work out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely true. And I agree as well. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about your story, about what you do in your profession?
Pretty much, that's, my work is, I do life coaching in general, and teaching emotional, or mentoring more than teaching, emotional wisdom to people. It's also helping them become their authentic self, so that they can create their relationship, the life that they want. And as I'm doing that, I'm also learning a lot about myself, which is, the world is about evolving, life is about evolving, and we'll always learn till we die, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we have to continue to learn and grow. Should never stay stagnant.
Yeah.
So let the audience know how they can contact you, how they can find you, if they need any of your services.
Sure. I've got a website, so it's www.lifecoachingformindset.com, and I've also got a Facebook link, so it's facebook.com Life Coaching for Mindset.
Okay, perfect. And we'll put all of these in the description for anyone who wants to join your links or check out your social profiles.
Sure.
But thank you
Great.
so much, Sania, for coming and sharing your story today. I
Thank you,
learned so
Maya.
much. Learned
Thank
so
you. It's
much from your
been
story.
great speaking with you.
Thank you.
Lovely
Thank
meeting you.
you. Yes. So, thank you guys once again for joining into Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel, and thanks for tuning in. See you next time.